Hey everybody, the Chelada boys are back again. Been a long wait, but you know, we back. Glad to see y'all. Enjoy the welcome back episode. Sorry, trying to get my shit right.
It's all good, man. Welcome back.
Posh baloney.
What it do?
How for art thou?
Art thou? I don't know how to answer that. I'm doing pretty good, man. How
I'll
about
turn
you?
this up a little bit so
Okay.
that I know. Should have did all this before I started.
How we doing? Yep, that's way
I
better.
think we're good.
Okay.
This episode's brought to you by not them. If you guys want to sponsor, let us know. But these Twisted Tea half and halves, you can't fuck with them.
They're really good. It's like lemonade that gets you drunk.
Nothing like some Arnold Palmer to get you lit. Oh yeah, that's much better. Posh,
Man, good to be
We
back. Man,
we back.
it has been a long 3 weeks.
Yeah, we had some unfortunate things happen, so we had to take off a couple of weeks. Missed the end of Halloween. We missed the Halloween episode, the Chelada Dead Boys. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say on here, just out of respect, I don't want to say on here exactly what happened because I don't really have the permission from the family to do that, so I'm not going to do that. But we are going to talk about the
Serial killers.
serial killers. That's what we had planned, so that's what we're gonna talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Posh, what did you have lined up for us a couple of weeks ago when we?
Well, as far as serial killers go, man, like I feel like there's so many shows and episodes and just things dedicated to serial killers already. But I was just thinking, like, trying to make it less educational and less like just fact riddled,
PBS.
you know, just full of facts. So I was just trying to like my 5 top smartest serial killers, right, is probably going to be Ted Kaczynski.
Ed Kemper.
Ed Kemper is on there. His IQ is extremely high. Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber, and he had an IQ of like 162, like a genius.
Oh shit! Hey, I want to say now that you like the way that you announced that name helped me remember my own mess up. Whenever I was talking about the story about the girl who was
In Indiana, they got...
and I said Banaszewski, it's Baniszewski.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I didn't know. This is just all stuff I'd read. There's actually a movie about that.
Yeah.
It's called An American Crime, I think.
I've
Right?
seen it. Me and
Have
Michaela
you?
watched it. Yeah, it's actually a really good movie.
It is. I watched it. I watched it after the episode actually because I was looking into it and it's fucked up. The movie's fucked up, but there's so much shit that they left out.
Yeah.
Because they just had to. I mean, they kind of like paint the picture for you with the whole Coke bottle scene and all that shit.
Yeah, they can't do everything.
Right.
The same like with a book, you know. Everybody will always tell you the book is way better, but
The book
that's
is
because
so
you
much
can
better.
pack
I'll just
more
take your
details.
word for it.
Yeah.
'Cause
It took you 2 days to read that. It took me 2.5 hours to watch this. So
2 days. If somebody's like, I read this book in 2 days, I'd be like, damn. Damn.
He was about it.
You ever had a book just
Capture Me.
wrap you up like that?
Goosebumps. Goosebumps
Really?
used to get me when I was a kid, man. It used
Really?
To, yeah, really. The one I learned how to fly. Oh, dude, that was like my jam.
There's a book that I read in middle school. The series of unfortunate events books were kind of my jam in middle school.
I think we all like that because the author dedicated like 10 pages to just being completely blacked out. Like
Yeah.
he blacked out like 10 pages.
Plus,
I was like, yes.
Lemony Snicket's, but I don't think it was his real name. He was like this mysterious guy. And no one really knew where he was. That was just cool. But there's a book called Stuck in Reverse. That's the only book that I've ever sat down, and even with the Lemony Snicket books, that's the only book that I've ever sat down and started reading and like got, you know, like in school you have like a reading time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to take 20 minutes before the class and we're going to read. And like that's the only book I've ever read that at that 20 minutes I'm like, fuck, I'm trying to keep reading. So I'd like read it on the bus, read it on the way home, like
Yeah.
when I got home.
Any free time you had.
It was a great book, but it was a book about he wasn't like mentally retarded, but he was like his body was like he couldn't control his body, and he was like wheelchair bound, and he couldn't like
Like
couldn't
Stephen
talk.
Hawking's, or
He couldn't talk. He couldn't he just couldn't move his body, talk, or anything like that. But he was aware of what was going on around him.
right. That would suck.
It was
Be like a vegetable, but still fully
it was
conscious.
nuts. Oh, that makes me think of that makes me think of the movie or the song "One" by Metallica about that soldier who shout out Veterans Day. I mean
today is
Veterans Day. Shout
Yeah.
out. Appreciate the sacrifices.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day.
But it makes me think of that where he's like, darkness imprisoning me, all that I see, and like something about tubes keeping him alive and shit like that. But I heard a quote that was like, it said, I heard them cheering as they celebrated the first frozen human, something like that, like successfully keeping them alive, but I had no way to tell them that I was still conscious.
Dang.
Bro, you gonna be
awake for a while.
You gonna be out for
That would be mentally, you would come out totally insane.
Oh my God.
You'd be completely insane.
There'd be no way.
Yeah. The moment you got motor function back, you would be like just ripping.
I would.
What's real? Like,
oh my God.
Yeah,
I think I would try to like master meditation, because if you could like get yourself in, that'd be the only thing you could do to try to keep yourself sane.
Try to astro travel everywhere.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm going to the Dirty Magazine store. I'll be back.
What's up, hustler?
As soon as you unthaw, just. Oh my God. I had nothing but wet dreams when y'all froze me.
Big hole right next to his crotch area where the ice melted.
It's warmed up.
That's gross.
Yeah. But you were talking about the
Unabomber.
the smartest.
Yeah,
Did you
the
say 5?
Just my top 5. Obviously,
Okay.
What we like to think as a society when it comes to serial killers is, they're dumb. They don't know how to follow rules. They don't know right from wrong, that kind of stuff. But
Right.
it's usually quite the opposite.
They never tie up the loose ends.
They're extremely smart.
Usually takes a while to catch them.
Yeah, a long time.
If they're like plotted out, if it's like in like the heat of the moment kind of murder, but I guess that's not really a serial killer.
That's more of a spree killer.
Yeah.
Or a crime of passion sometimes.
That's the word I was looking for.
But what I also find the most interesting, like I said, I find their brains very interesting, what makes serial killers tick kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But what I find more interesting, I've found out, is the people that hunt them, the behavioral analysis unit for the FBI.
That would be the coolest job.
I think so too, because they like reverse engineer a crime scene. They get to a crime scene and they follow like 5 rules of like trying to figure out why and how.
Gotta
They
have
figure
a
out
motive.
why and how, and then they can kind of link those two together to create the who. And it's pretty interesting, the science behind it, because they looked at the victimology. So what is the victim? What's their daily routine? Are they a girl, a guy, heavy set, skinny? You just look at everything about their life. Well, I mean, because that goes into what
Fat
your killer
people.
looks like. If your killer is willing to take on a bigger guy, there's a good chance it's a male who's a bigger person, and depending on the method of which they killed him,
Or a
did they use
bulimic
knife
chick who really hates fat people.
Could be. It could be anything. But they looked at the victimology. They look at the location, so where the body's at. Did they die at like Times Square or out in a field in Idaho somewhere? They look at the.
I'll set up a little bit. My second chin is not being flattered right now. There we go.
Location,
Still there.
The crime scene itself. They look at the crime scene itself, see if there's obviously any evidence, stuff like that. They look at.
Bear with us just a second. Arm, and we're back.
Okay, and they look at like pre and post behavior before and after the murder, how they reacted. Did they stay around the crime scene a long time? Did they linger? And organization, how organized they were. Did they kill in the moment like you talked about?
Yeah.
Did they just pick up a weapon or a rock or a vase or whatever and bust somebody's head and it was very disorganized? Or did they bring everything they needed to, make a clean getaway and criminal sophistication and stuff like that?
We're having another technical difficulty. And we're live again. So all that stuff, that part didn't get picked up on the recording. If you want to know what Posh just said, just go on over to YouTube at the Chelada Boys podcast, or just the Chelada Boys, and like us and stuff.
Yeah, please.
And
subscribe. Ring that bell.
But yeah, don't they say that people they more often than not they'll return to the scene, right?
Some do. Some will return. Some interject themselves into the case. Edmund Kemper did that. He was somebody who went to cop bars a lot and would like fish for information and get information out of cops, and cops trusted him.
That motherfucker only got caught because he wanted to get caught.
He got caught because he turned himself in.
Yeah.
And going back to Ted Kaczynski, the only reason he got caught was because his brother recognized his handwriting on the manifesto he released. That's the only reason. The FBI would have never found Ted Kaczynski.
That one really...
Yeah, and he was... What happened to him, man, was like he high IQ, got accepted to Harvard when he was like 16.
Damn.
And was like, I don't know, he did a bunch of like psychopathy tests and stuff like that, and just, I don't know, he... At the end of like his education and everything, he is just really wore down and thought that the society that we were living in was becoming unmoral and ruled by technology. So he went off the grid.
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong. Went off the grid, lived in a cabin in Montana for 18 years by himself, off the grid for 18 years. And
for 18 years?
Yeah, off the grid.
I didn't know this.
In Montana. And what he was doing was he was building bombs in that cabinet and sending them to random people throughout America. And for, from the 70s to the 1995 was when they caught him.
I don't guess I know this story.
Yeah, the Unabomber was, man, he was...
Oh, wait, the Unabomber. What the fuck? I know about a Unabomber.
Yeah, scariest criminal in America for a long time.
Just mail you a bomb and just fuck your shit up real quick.
Killed 3 people, injured like 20-something other.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he was extremely smart. He was a very smart person.
Yeah.
Another person on that list is obviously Jack the Ripper.
Right.
Never got caught. Also, I think that has a lot to do with the time and age that they were in, too. It was 1800s, late 1800s, 1881, I think, was like his last murder.
Yeah.
So a lot of people believe that Jack the Ripper was also H.H. Holmes. The Jack the Ripper moved from London and came over to America and set up in Chicago and created the House of Horrors that is H.H. Holmes.
It's still up, right?
It is, and they had the World Fair in Chicago, and that's how he would get his victims because nobody's going to notice a bunch of foreign tourists, going missing in a big-ass city. So
it's kind of like Hostel was with Americans going over there.
Yeah, and he would...
Not just Americans.
He built this giant house, right? This basically torture house or haunted house, if you will. And he would have construction crews come in and build one part of the house, and then he would fire them immediately, and then hire a new one.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
So nobody knew what the full picture looked
like,
and then like basically the second floor of his house was like doors leading to nowhere, rooms with gas lines built into them, so that they could just set them on fire, like crazy. It would have been terrifying.
I'm not staying the night.
It would have been terrifying.
Do you know the story about Eric Smith? Mm-mm. I think that's his name.
I don't think so.
Let's look this up real quick just to make sure that I'm not being a dum-dum. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I did a little research on him. Yep, that's him. Eric Smith in 1992 or 3.
Mm-hmm. I was 1 or 2.
I was also 1 or 2. 93. August 2nd, 1993. You don't remember? You never seen the picture of this kid?
He looks like Chucky.
Well, this is him whenever he committed it. This is him when it happened.
What was he, like 10, 11?
13.
13, okay.
He was 13 when it happened. So what had happened was he killed a 4-year-old kid. So they were going to this camp together, right? It was supposedly in this small, like, New York town. I can't remember. Steuben County, New York. Okay, I was thinking of the name of the town, but I can't think of it. But he killed Derek Roby. This is the kid's name. But here's the layout of the whole thing. Derek Roby was with his mom. He was waiting on his mom to take him to this like church camp thing that was just like a block down the road. It was like, I feel like it was like on the same road at the end of the road. And he got tired of waiting on his mom, I guess, and he said, Mom, I'm just going to walk to the... He's 4 now, mind you. And there's a lot of people defending the mom, and I mean, I'm not trying to give nobody no shit. Losing a 4-year-old is awful.
Yeah.
But there's no fucking way I am letting my 4-year-old walk down any streets by himself in any fucking subdivision. No way. She said that...
Quick interjection. You got to think about the time, though, too.
True.
I mean, it was still pretty recent. It's about 30 years ago. 93, is that what I said? 92, 93?
93.
So it's almost 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it was a different time. Kids were allowed to walk the streets and play. I used to go trick-or-treating by myself when I was like 7, 8. You know
really?
What I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, like, my parents would drop me off at the end of a road, and I would hit the whole road by myself, come back up, meet them.
Yeah.
And then they would drive down, boop, stop, and I would... So, I mean, I had my parents, but it wasn't like how it is today where, like, you walk up to the door with them now and, you know, you watch them throw the candy.
I mean, I had my parents, but my dad would, like... my dad would sit in the passenger seat while his girlfriend at the time would drive the car. Me and my stepbrother would get out. Like, they'd pull us up to a house, we'd get out, run up to the door, ding dong, whatever, get our shit, and then we get back in the car, and then they drive us to the next house. Or we'd, like, hit 3 houses, and they just, like, drive along with us. That's what they did. But, yeah, still though. I mean, you're right.
Time,
different time, but
4-year-old, that's pretty young to be
4
walking.
4 years old, be walking to the end of the block alone is a little oof. But anyway, Eric Smith saw him and like lured him into like this wooded area and killed the 4-year-old. Now, here's a little backstory. Apparently, Eric Smith was like picked on a lot in school. I mean,
judging by the picture, yeah.
I mean, look up Eric Smith.
Which is unfortunate because, I mean, he's just another human being, you know what I'm saying?
But they talk about, like, how small his ears were, or how low his ears were, and his red hair, and his glasses, and all this shit. Mm-hmm. Apparently, his mom took some kind of...
he looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Get roasted, Eric Smith.
What are you going to do now?
Yeah. Well, actually, he's up for parole this month. I think it might be...
I'm just kidding, big dog.
Yeah. Right here, Eric Smith granted parole after 27 years in prison for killing child. He went to prison when he was 13.
Well, I mean, they obviously had to do some tests on his psyche and figure out why at 13 he was already so
His
brutal.
mom was taking some kind of medicine, I think. I feel like it was for like seizures or something, for like epilepsy. And they think that caused some kind of like defect in him. And he had like rage issues, and he would kill. Here's a sign for like future murderers: would like torment animals.
Yeah,
kill the neighborhood cat.
Usually how it starts.
Shit like that. But he got picked on a lot, and he told his stepdad at the time, who actually like adopted him whenever he got with his mom,
right,
that he was mad. He actually told him, he said, I need help. I feel like I want to hurt something. And his stepdad told him, well, when I was your age, I'd go out in the barn and I'd just hit a bag a bunch of times. And they said he went outside and like started punching a tree and came back and his knuckles were all bloody and shit like that. So punching a tree?
He had some rage.
Yeah, he had some rage fits. Well, he was out riding his bike whenever Derek Roby was walking to the camp that he was supposed to be going to too. Mm-hmm. And lured him in there. I can't remember exactly how he killed him, but I feel like he was like strangling him, and then he took a big rock and smashed it on his head like 26 times. Killed him. God. Derek Roby had a lunchbox with him, and he had Kool-Aid in it, and for some reason Eric Smith poured the Kool-Aid in his wounds, would like move his body around into different poses, took his shoes off, moved them around a bunch. Apparently he kept coming back to it, and eventually he just left it alone. Left him alone, I should say. And the mom was looking for her son, couldn't find him, freaked out, contacted the police. The police found him, and it was immediately like whole town. This is a quiet town. It's the whole town's on high alert, and they've got like they're questioning all kinds of people. They've got all these suspects, and they notice that this little boy keeps riding back and forth on his bike, asking questions about it, and like he seemed excited about it. He was ready to talk about it. He couldn't wait to like
just hear what they had to say.
Basically wanted to give the details, and like they started telling stuff that was going on, and they would seem like he'd get mad when they'd get it wrong. And eventually, they found out it was him. But what he did after he had already killed him,
There's a gnat flying around here. I keep trying to snag.
I thought you were trying to like.
I think he just made a guest appearance.
Yeah, it's right here now. But you can see him flying around my face. Oh, bye.
Get roasted.
After he killed him, he took a stick and shoved it up the little boy's butt.
What?
Yeah, and his excuse was he was trying to reach his heart to make sure that he had killed him. That's what he said.
Well, I mean, when you're 13 years old, you're at a really weird age, bro.
Yeah.
Like 12 to 16 is just like
you don't know who you are.
It's a big fuck fest, man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's going on in your head. But yeah, dude, there's something wrong with him. Something happened, and this leads me to the part of the BAU's thing that, like, a lot of people go, is it nature or is it nurture? Or is it, well, a lot of people, it's that and some. It's both and some. So they say that, like, your genetics kind of load the gun, and then the way your brain works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Your psychology aims the gun, your perspective and stuff aims the gun, and then the things that happen to you in life, the traumas and stuff that happen to you in life, pull the trigger. So, like, everybody has the recipe, I guess, especially in males, and this is because the X chromosome,
the testosterone,
the X chromosome, when you're a boy, it's passed from your mother's side, and that is that's the only X chromosome you get is from your mom's side, and for some reason that creates the psycho gene, the psychopath.
So you get your mother's side of the male
gene, yeah.
Oh.
And I
didn't know that.
That's what leads to it. When it comes to a girl, you get X from your mother and from your father, and they kind of like dilute each other out.
Is it?
It's the X.
Is it the X?
Yeah.
Okay.
Girls are Girls are XX. Guys are XY.
I'm gonna need you to tone it down a little bit. Yeah. He said it's the X, motherfucker. It's the fucking X.
It's that chromosome.
X gonna give it to you. I've always heard that you get your hair pattern from your mom's side of the family, so I guess that makes sense.
You do if you're a male. So.
Man, my grandpa was bald.
Yeah, mine too.
I mean, I guess I'm holding on for dear life, bro. I'm like, hey, don't.
I'm not gonna take this hat off.
I'm just gonna show y'all. It's like.
Well, it's about to touch right there in the middle. You about to just have that lonely island.
That spot,
yeah.
Bro. If my shit ever gets to that, it's gone. I am not gonna be the guy that's got this on
that
top.
One, yeah, dude.
That's just like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I still got my hair. No, I'm cutting that shit. Let me fix it so it doesn't.
Good thing is you got a nice round normal shaped head, so if you go bald it's not going to look bad. If you grow a beard and go bald, you're going to look tough.
Yeah.
Me, I got a lumpy moly head that looks like
moly. Don't even talk about moles, bro. I'm in here with the moles. Actually, it's just this one, and then I got a little something up here.
I don't know, I got a weird shaped head, so I don't think I'd look good bald.
I feel like mine looks like it's a good round head, but it's just not. There's lumps in this hoe. And plus my neck and the back is just straight. Like there's no like dome carrier in the back, you know, like a good bald head looks.
Mine kind of slants down, like it goes to that rounded thing, and it's like swap.
Mine's just like this, just
like a thumb,
just top of the head, neck, and then that's it. Did you know? A little fun fact for you. Did you know that pigeons die after sex?
No. What?
Yeah. Pigeons die after sex.
Is this one of them things?
Well, I don't know, but the one I fucked died.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. That's pretty funny.
So what's going on in the world, Posh?
Man.
Wait. You had something. You hit.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you pulled the rug out from under me because you're like, pigeons die from sex, and I was like,
I've never heard of this.
But then, the punchline.
But then I fucked it.
Yeah, you were the one fucking it, so of course the pigeon died.
Almost lived though.
Yeah, he almost made it.
Almost lived.
We were gonna be a family. But What is going on in the world, man? A lot has happened since we're on the topic of killers and stuff like that. The Brian Laundrie, is that how you say it? Landry?
Oh yeah, that guy and what's that girl's name?
Gabby Peteo.
Sounds right.
Peteo, I think.
I'm glad you have a good memory because I don't.
Weird because I smoke a lot of weed.
I don't smoke weed. Scared of it. Just a little scared.
It's scary. It can be. No, I've actually cut back a lot.
I've seen this TikTok that this guy like did this little dance. He's like, I don't smoke weed no more because it gives me anxiety. And I was like, damn, bro, I
feel that.
That's your boy. Do you ever get anxiety like that off of it?
It depends on the weed. There's different strands, man. So, I mean, obviously you're going to get a sativa, indica, or a hybrid. And depending on your mindset, it's going to affect you differently. Like I'm really good on sativas. I get like really creative and blah, blah, blah. But on indicas, I think that's where I get like just a little bit more paranoid.
I feel like that's probably more common that way.
Yeah.
The indica, because it's like
I'm too high.
I don't want to do. Yeah, like I can't. I could probably get up, but it would absolutely devastate me right now.
The ice machine makes a noise, and you're like,
yeah. Or it's like too quiet, and you think you hear something. You ever been there, and you're like.
Or you just like start imagining scenarios that would happen. Like, what if someone rang my doorbell right now?
Oh my God!
What would I do?
It's the worst. That's why I don't fuck with it no more.
Yeah,
and so it's weird because I'd say a lot of people are opposite than what I am. But in social settings, I'm way better with it. Like if I'm hanging out with like 4 or 5 of the boys and we're just cutting up, I'm good. But if I'm by myself and I smoke,
no bueno.
I freak out. I freak out. One thing that I do, the too quiet thing, is I'll sit there and I'll think I heard something, and then I'll focus, like I'll hyper focus on the sounds, and I'll be like, just waiting for something to make a damn sound, and it never does, and I'm just scared to death for no reason. And then and then like you say, the thought shit'll start happening.
Hey, I got to take a bathroom break.
I thought you were just gonna say I gotta take a bath.
Can I go take a shower real quick?
Hey, bro, I gotta go to the bath. Yeah, man. We'll
all right,
I'm sorry.
I'll be right back.
It'll be seamless, but we'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
And no, it's not what I want. Okay, now and we're back. Okay. Bosh, I had to use the bathroom.
I had to relieve myself. But what were we talking about? What was going on in the world? So we're talking about Brian Laundrie and Gabby Peteo. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that. It seems kind of odd that the FBI has been looking for him for, however long, 6 months, 7 months or whatever. And then his parents find him within 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
They've located him.
And he's dead?
He's
like dismembered, right? Like.
Well, first
they found some remains and they were his.
They found remains. Now I don't know what
were they the whole like the full remains.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what state the remains were in.
His name was Brian, right?
Brian Laundrie, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name. Unanswered questions. It says dental records show remains found. So I guess just they were like his whole body.
Yeah. So I mean, when they have to go to dental records, obviously there's like been some state of decay to where you can't just recognize him by his face.
Okay, so the remains found were skeletal, including a partial human skull, leading to dental records being the primary identification method for the remains. Northport police said October 26th that DNA tests on the remains is okay. Well, we already know that.
See, that's
what happened.
How is he?
Did he kill her or no?
Well, that we'll never get that answer if they've gone ahead and assumed that he's dead.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how is he a skeleton already?
That's what I'm saying.
Unless he died like day one out in the woods by himself and then has just been rotting for 6 months. And even then, I don't think he would be a skeleton unless like there's just some serious predatory animals out there munching on your shit. Picked him out. Yeah. But my other theory is obviously his parents were in on it and they were like, get out of this country as fast as you can. And when they give us the chance, we're going to go dig up a corpse and lay some dental records down and, maybe they made a mold of his teeth. I don't know how they would get dental records though.
But wouldn't they have to be real teeth?
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I have no idea how they would do it.
I don't know either.
I don't know how that would go down, but it just seems odd how fast they found him. They found him in that state that he was in, like already decomposed to the point where he was bones. I mean, like I said, I'm not an FBI guy. I don't I don't know how long it takes for someone to decompose.
I would like to know what happened, but I feel like this is going to be one of those cases where 40 years later and we still don't know.
What's probably happening is Brian Laundrie is starting a life somewhere with a wig, and he's in Canada.
It was like a government did something to Gabby, and they were trying to place the blame on him. They used him as an out. They're like, hey, we'll give you so much money and a new identity, and we'll send you wherever you want to go if you take the fall, and we're going to find your body.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you love the girl, I would be like, that's a solid no for me. But obviously he was looking.
Well, they're not going to tell the parent or the family or her or the parents of that shit.
I really doubt that's what happened.
Same, but I'm just saying.
But I think it's one of those things that we won't know. Like you said, it might come out in like 40 when we're like 60. They're gonna be like, Brian Laundrie's alive.
When we're dead, and like no one really knows anything about it anymore.
He's got 3 kids and a model wife in Budapest, and
tonight on Unsolved Mysteries.
So that's one thing in the world that I feel like a lot of people are talking about. It's hard for me to comment on because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to talk about
all of it's speculation,
shit.
every bit of it.
We all talk about shit like we know, and we condemn people before we ever give them the, fair trial or anything like that. So it's easy for us all to be like, yeah, he did it, and then he took off, and then he died.
And then he killed himself.
He killed himself or died
and decomposed.
But
they didn't. I don't know the story, so I'm not going to say they didn't find any like self-inflicted wounds, because maybe they did. But I don't know what the hell happened.
Well, when it comes down to just bones, you're not going to really see any self-inflicted wounds unless he got down to the bone. You know what I'm saying? Unless he nicked his bone somehow, which, I mean, that's
Well, I would imagine, like, if he's out in the field, it'd be like a headshot, right?
If he shot himself, yeah. I don't know, man. He could have got attacked by a fucking alligator.
Maybe drank some kind of concoction.
Yeah, ate the wrong mushroom or berry or some shit. I don't know. Anything could have happened, and it could also just not be him completely. I don't know, maybe he pulled his
government cover-up, like I said. Case solved.
Maybe he pulled his own fucking teeth out.
The Kyle Rittenhouse shit's going on. Ain't that his name?
I don't know who that is.
The kid that was in the, I think they were Minneapolis riots, and he killed that one guy and shot the other dude in the arm.
When did this happen?
Oh, God, like last year somewhere.
So much bad shit happens throughout a year that it's hard to keep track of everybody.
So he was cleaning. He was there as like a volunteer, and was like there to help clean graffiti off of the walls. And he was approached by some protesters, and they kind of like, well, this is the story. Approached by some.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now that I see this picture, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
And they were like coming after him and like chasing him down, and one like was trying to attack him, and he shot the dude in the head. And he was still like trying to run off, and this other guy came and like pulled a gun up toward him, and he shot him in the arm and fucked his shit up. He's on trial now, and one of the bigger things is the guy that he shot in the arm was on the stand, and they were like, did Kyle like aim his gun or anything at you before you raised your gun and pointed at him? He said no. He's like, so Kyle never came and like initiated a fight with you? And he's like, no. He's like, did he pull the trigger before you pointed your gun at him? And he's like, no. And like his lawyers over there like, oh God.
Yeah, you just ruined the case, man, because now it's self-defense.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if someone's pointing a gun at you, you have the right to plant your feet and shoot. I feel like that would be for anybody. I would want that luxury. Like, if someone's pointing a gun at me, I don't want to be like, well,
let's wait and try this out in court.
Yeah, wait till the cops get here, mister.
You wait. Let me call 911. Yeah. And then there's another one. The same guy was on the stand, and he was being questioned by Kyle's attorney. And he was like, so is it safe to say that you were chasing Kyle? And he's like, no. He's like, okay, were you running in the same direction as Kyle? And he says, yes. He's like, but it had nothing to do with the fact that Kyle was running that way. He's like, oh no, it had something to do with it had something to do with the fact that he was running that way. He's like, so you were chasing him? He's like, no. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
He's probably gonna walk away from that.
Yeah.
With minimal consequences.
Well, I think he's already been in. He's like served some time.
Well, if they find him not guilty, and they find it self-defense, even if they did give him a certain sentence for what he did, he's already served time on it.
Killed two men.
So it could have. Oh, okay.
So, all right, I'm just gonna read this article real quick. Kyle Rittenhouse, now 18, is on trial for killing 2 men and wounding a third with a military-style rifle during protests last year in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Before the killings, Kenosha had endured 2 nights of chaotic protests over the police shooting of a local black man, Jacob Blake. Several businesses were burned to the ground, and there were incidents of looting. Police used rubber bullets and tear gas to control the crowds. The following is based on court testimony, drone footage, and videos from August 25th, 2020. During the day, Rittenhouse helps clean graffiti off of a school. The same day, Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, is released from a Milwaukee hospital where he had been admitted after a suicide attempt. Around 10 p.m., video shows Rittenhouse with a rifle standing with other armed men near a used car dealership. So what they were doing is trying to protect these businesses, I think.
From riots.
Yeah. Rittenhouse testified he was asked to help guard the business due to the threat of looting and arson. He brought a medical kit and says his objective was to provide aid to anyone injured. Around 10:45 p.m., another video shows Rittenhouse asking police officers for water. One officer says, "We appreciate you guys, we really do." Around 11:45 p.m., Rosenbaum chases Rittenhouse into a used car lot as Rittenhouse yells, "Friendly, friendly, friendly." Rosenbaum throws a plastic bag containing toiletries at Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse testified that Rosenbaum grabbed his gun. A journalist from the Daily Caller, a conservative website, testified that Rosenbaum lunged for the rifle. Rittenhouse fires his gun at Rosenbaum, hitting him 4 times and killing him. Damn. Video shows Rittenhouse fleeing the scene of the Rosenbaum shooting and being chased by a growing crowd, some yelling, "Get him." Just minutes later, after stumbling to the ground, Rittenhouse fatally shoots Anthony Hubert, a 26-year-old who swung a skateboard at him. That's the one he shot in the head. After Hubert was shot, Gage Grosskreutz, now 27, stops moving toward Rittenhouse and puts his hands in the air. He was holding a handgun. When Grosskreutz, that's going to fuck me up every time, resumes advancing, Rittenhouse shoots him, severing most of his bicep. Oof. Rittenhouse testified that Grosskreutz had his pistol pointed at his head. Rittenhouse then walks toward the police with his hands up and the rifle slung across his body. Police order him to get out of the way, and one officer pepper sprays Rittenhouse when he approaches the window of the patrol car. The police then drove off, believing the active shooter was elsewhere. Around 1:30 a.m., Rittenhouse, accompanied by his mother, turns himself into a police station in his hometown of Antioch, Illinois.
Well, that says a lot about it, too. He turned himself in. So
yeah.
that says a lot about, what he was going through mentally, too. It might not have been something that, and, I don't know the full story, so I can't sit here and say that this guy didn't want to fucking go out and kill somebody that day, because he might have.
I don't think he wanted to, right. But he was 17 at the time. What's he doing there with a fucking military rifle?
Yeah, I mean.
Who let him go by himself?
Yeah, he's underage. That's. By law, I don't think you can own. Well, you can't own a handgun.
It wasn't his. It was his uncle's gun.
Right. You can't own a handgun until you're 21.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the law with the rifles are, but you would think an assault rifle would be about the same age or 25 or something like that. But
you can. So you can't own one, or you can't buy one.
You can't buy one.
You can own one.
You can own one, but I don't think you can buy one until you're 21.
Right.
And I'm not sure why that is. I think it might have something to do with the conceal and carry, and it might have something to do with just, 18 and 19-year-old boys probably don't need pistols.
Right.
Because we see
guns in general.
Most crimes are
hunting and shit.
Yeah, it's different when you have a bolt-action rifle that holds 5 rounds, and then you have an assault
fucking
rifle that holds 50.
Yeah.
You can kill somebody with 22. You can kill somebody with a rock. You can kill somebody with anything if you're aggressive enough.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it does come down to why was a 17-year-old out there with a gun?
It's the intent with the tool, not the tool itself.
Exactly.
All right, let's do this again. I hate when it does that. Let's take a break and do drinking Dad's beers. You want to?
Oh yeah. Oh, almost forgot.
You boys been drinking my beer again.
This week we have something that I wanted to try last month for the last, but you know,
Things happened.
And this week we have West 6th Dank Chain Oktoberfest. And this is what the can looks like. That's it right there. If you want to see the can, go to the YouTube and make sure you subscribe. No real description on the can or anything like that. So
Is that a Lexington, Kentucky?
yes, sir. Everybody knows West 6th.
I don't see the ABV.
It is a.
Oh, it's a lager.
It is a lager with an ABV of to be determined. Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't say.
Well, it's beer.
That's weird. Ooh. Does it stink?
Stinky.
Lagers usually do. Yeah, it smells like peas and carrots.
It kind of does, like a opened can
of peas. Yeah, that smells just like peas. I hate peas.
It's not bad though. It is not bad though.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
It's not the worst beer I've ever had.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is a great beer, but it's not a bad beer.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to.
It's definitely an Oktoberfest type beer. It's definitely got that fall taste. Which, may I say, it has been beautiful here in central Kentucky these past couple weeks. Oh my God, the leaves changing, the wind blowing, the leaves, it's beautiful.
It's like a beer that's got like a little bit of bratwurst juice and some pumpkin spice in it.
It does got like a meat taste, doesn't it? Like I'm drinking a can of peas and Vienna sausages.
Pork chop in a can. That's what my dad always called beer. Pork chop in a can.
That's pretty much what it is, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of calories.
Yeah. I fucks with it. What are you thinking, my man?
I got a beetle on my mic. Or not a beetle, but a ladybug.
It is a beetle. It's an Asian beetle. Asian lady beetle.
They bite.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Oh, never forget Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Some beach.
Yeah, I got a score in my head.
What you got?
I'm gonna go 7-2.
7-2. Damn, that's higher than I was gonna say 7 flat.
Okay, well.
So 7-1.
There it is.
It is on the West 6th Oktoberfest. It's not bad.
It's really not.
If I was at somebody's house and they're like, "Man, you want an Oktober?" I do.
It tastes like a lager for sure.
It's heavy, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm usually not crazy about lagers, but this one does have a good taste to it. Most lagers kind of got that like it just came out of the bottom of the barrel taste, you know, like that.
We let it soak. We let it soak for so long. That's why it's so good.
But this is probably Ugh.
Do you like the Sam Adams Oktoberfest?
They're okay. I like the Boston Lager the most from Sam Adams. I think if there's a beer that they've perfected, it is the Boston Lager.
The Winter Lager is really good.
I remember you do like that one a lot.
Those are really good.
But I do like the Oktoberfest. I think that's probably my second favorite from Sam Adams. And then the Winterfest one is okay for me.
So what's your first? Summerfest or something?
Boston Lager. Just the regular Boston Lager.
What'd you say the second was? Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Winter Lager, I love it. I don't know if it's just because it's got a Christmas tree on it or what.
Yeah, and you're a Christmas fan.
I am.
So, yeah, you're
I like Christmas. If you don't like Christmas, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know, Christmas, well, we talked about that last year about how it's kind of like a pagan holiday formed into our own Christian holiday.
If you're a Christian.
If you're a Christian, yeah. But, I mean, like, it would suck for like, kids that don't celebrate Christmas.
Bro, if
to
you're
watch
Christian,
all your friends on some random
if you're one of those
day
Christians that don't celebrate Christmas with presents, your kids are going to grow up hating Jesus. They're going to.
They're going to be
grow
weird.
Up, Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna be weird.
It's
kids.
Christmas, but it's Jesus' birthday, and that's not why we're celebrating. It's not presents for you. They're gonna grow up and be not Christian.
Now, if you've got kids
Which is,
watching
I
right
mean,
now, now's the time to tell them to leave the room because I'm about to say some stuff.
I hope you don't got kids watching
Yeah,
this
and
shit.
again, yeah. Please don't have kids watching this show.
We need to
But-
put like a disclaimer, like if your kid go on somewhere,
Yeah,
it would be all kids that watch this show if I did that.
Hey, go to your room.
Oh, I'm not supposed to watch it.
Go to your room right now. Uncle Posh just told you.
Yeah.
Uncle Posh, that sounds creepy. But I debated on if I was going to teach my daughter about Santa Claus. Because okay, look, I understand that it's like a huge thing in our culture to tell our kids that there's this magical man who comes every year, and it's fun for kids. And
So
it could be fun for that too.
It is fun for kids. That's what I think is so important about it. But is it the I'm lying to my kid
I
thing?
am lying to my children, and I also don't want them to think that these gifts just come from some random magical entity that, like, I worked hard. I put, like, this thing that I bought you cost me 200 hours of my life, and I need you to appreciate it and respect it and not just be like, well, Santa will bring me another one next year.
That, and also, I don't like... I like the whole feel of Santa's coming. It's basically to get your kids to be good. But you can watch these, like, what I remember about being younger is like watching these Christmas cartoons and the anticipation of Santa Claus coming that night. It was just fun, the whole experience of it. But what I don't like about it is, if you're good, Santa will get you what you want. And Mason's probably going to get whatever the fuck he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally whatever he wants. Probably not a PS5 because, damn, you still can't get them motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're rough.
But... Mason's going to get what he wants, but there's a kid at school who's got things that his parents can't afford that he's been probably a great kid for all year, and he's going to wake up on Christmas morning and be fucking so disappointed that he didn't get the TV or the Xbox or the...
Why the PS5 wasn't under his tree when he was just as good as this kid.
Right.
And they don't understand it because... his dad makes more money than your dad.
Right.
Your dad's a garbage man, and his dad's a CEO.
Right.
So, it's... I think that's a good topic that you brought up, good reason to maybe not teach your kids that. Or if you are going to do, which I know this is a meme, it's something that's cycled around Facebook a lot, that if you are going to do Christmas, make the present from Santa Claus like something basic, superficial, like that's not like a coloring book or, like,
it's like candy, like a
something any kid
what do you
would
hang
get.
from the fucking chimney? What do you, from the
stocking.
mantle? Stocking full of candy. This is from Santa.
That's from Santa. The PS5 is from Daddy.
But you know what? Mason's done hit me. Like, he hit me when he was like 6. He come home from school one day and he was like, "Daddy, I know Santa's not real." I was like...
See, that's what another thing I'm worried about is I don't want my daughter to find out I've been lying to her from some little smart-ass kid who already knows.
Some little kid. Yeah, there's a kid at school. Mason goes to school with. I'm not going to name the kid, but he's like bigger than all the other kids.
Right.
And he's in there like... fuck and all this shit. And Mason has these nice clothes. Like, look here, little homie, I spent good dollars on these clothes, and they're the in style clothes. Like, they look like they're ripped and all this, and they're kind of not really skinny jeans, but kind of, they're a little tight.
They tight,
but those are gay, and everything Mason does is gay, and all this gay and stuff. And
Mason, that's someone projecting their own self shit on.
That's what I was telling him. I was like, man, that is just something going on in John's life. I was like, bro, you're fresh. Know you look good. I was like, look, like I pull him to the mirror. I'm like, look at you. You look good. What's John got on? Yeah. Damn, I just named that kid.
You did twice.
Well, I'm not going to say his last name.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you're...
John's parents are watching. What's up?
Yeah, we're not going to say his last name, but hey, keep an eye on your kid. He's like twice the size of all the other kids in that grade, and... telling all these other kids they're gay, and maybe they are, but whatever. He's using it as an insult, and he's teaching my son to, like, he's like saying like fuck and all this other shit. Mason's not, but this kid is.
Right. Well, that comes to, I mean, I hate to say it, but it comes down to the parenting, man.
Right.
He's not learning that shit from anywhere, and it could be
if you're
some
watching,
other kid.
If you're watching this, you're probably letting little homeboy watch it too.
Yeah. Get the fuck in your room.
Yeah. No, Uncle Posh teaching some words.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that, though. I think that when you send your kid to a public school, there's going to be a kid there who's
always
who you want your kid to hang out with. The kid that's like beyond and just a little bit more advanced and is already acting like an adult. And then there's always that kid that is just like had a hard life, had a harder time.
Yeah.
And, you know, their parents didn't have enough. And
They're probably not rearing him the way that he needs to be and like showing him the right way to go.
Right.
Not that I'm perfect. I mean, I don't do everything great, but I will say Mason gets A's and B's. His teacher said that he's the top reader in his class.
Well, you gotta, yeah. I
Me
mean,
and Mason read every night. We work on them spelling words. We out here doing it.
as far as parenting goes, you can't rely solely on the school system to teach your
Right.
kid. Because if
School
you do that,
learning does not end whenever school lets out.
oh yeah, I'm more thirsty for knowledge now than I ever was when I was a kid in school. I wish
Same.
that like I could just go back to high school
Yeah.
and like just be in like the adult class that starts at like 5:30 at night
And be
just,
like, look, man, some of this shit they're teaching you is boring,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's pretty fucking cool.
some of it's useful. Like chemistry, I wish I would have paid attention.
Me
to
too.
chemistry.
And social
God,
studies, I
yeah.
wish I would have been
And
way more involved because
I
I
would-
love history shit now.
Urge kids to take shop classes. Take
Yes.
shop classes.
I did take woodworking, but I
see?
did not fucking
Didn't go anywhere with it. Yeah.
I built a fucking nightstand and it was pretty dope. I loved it. And after that, I didn't build shit. But mine was cool because I built the tabletop into a checkerboard
Oh, cool. So you can play checkers on
out of wood blocks. Yeah,
Nice.
or you could have played fucking
chess or.
yeah.
See, and I think that that's something that we should start teaching our kids because we like all funnel them into like the college Ponzi scheme where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you pay fucking $200,000 for your education in a
Yeah.
field that probably doesn't even exist anymore. Now you're up to your eyeballs in debt.
Yeah,
and-
I went to college for dancing. Man, it's not.
I get that that's what your
That's your
passion is, and
passion,
that's
yeah,
fine.
you
That's
love it.
great, but you got to think there might be like 150 dancers in the world that are like
Doing
known,
well.
like doing
Yeah.
really well, and then the rest of them are just starving artists.
Name one
So-
dancer.
Chris Brown. That's it. That's all I got, and he's a singer too. So
Yeah,
he's
Michael
got-
Jackson, and he's dead.
Yeah,
So.
but yeah, he's not doing much anymore these
So
days.
there's one of two, and you know,
Too soon. K-pop.
it is.
Yeah,
It's
it's still
it'll
too soon.
never
I'll be
not
85, still be like
Yeah,
too soon.
we don't talk about Mike yet.
They probably don't even know who that is, but
They better. Michael Jackson left a mark on music, buddy.
yeah, he changed music, man.
If
He
your
was-
kids don't know who Michael Jackson is, bro, that's on you.
you're failing as a parent.
Yeah, we're criticizing the fuck out of parents right now.
Yeah, y'all need to get shit together.
Y'all some pieces of shit. We are doing good, right, Posh? We don't do nothing
Well,
bad.
Look, I'm not gonna say I don't do nothing bad. My daughter has learned the B word, so
Yeah, you know, and kind of like to take a few steps back. Talking about that kid teaching Mason like cuss words. Okay, he
words, yeah.
probably didn't teach him them cuss words.
he knew what they were
Yeah,
already.
He
just
knows bad words
Didn't,
because
he's never had that person.
because Daddy says them
He's
sometimes.
never had that person his age be able to say them so freely, though.
Yeah.
And that's what to him is interesting. He's like, he's the same age as me, and he's allowed to say
But
fuck and
yeah,
shit.
but let me tell you, whenever I was in third grade,
Swearing like a
I was on
motherfucker,
the I was on the playground saying them things.
weren't you? Yeah.
I was on the playground spitting them out.
Yeah, I think by the time I got to like 5th grade, I knew every cuss
And how to
word.
use it.
Yeah, and
Like,
how
I
to
was
use
using it.
Every major cuss word. There were still things that were elusive to me, like twat and like queef and
You
shit
know
like
what?
that. I didn't know, but
You remember whenever? Okay, when did Afro Man's album come out?
oh shit, that's an impossible question for a stoner. Somewhere in between 1992 and now.
I think it was, yeah, Because I Got High. Came out in 2000. Okay. You know, at the beginning of the song where he's like, "There's this blind man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he walked up to this fish market, right? And he
Yeah.
takes a deep breath and goes,
Whoa.
"Good morning, ladies."
Yeah.
I remember listening to that. My dad gave me. My dad was one of those parents. He was cool though. No, I love my dad.
Still love your dad, right?
Oh yeah, I was glad he was doing it then because I felt like I wasn't being left out, and it was just, you know, I thought it was funny too. But he told that joke, and I remember everybody laughing their ass off at it, and I remember being like, I have no idea what the fuck
Yeah.
he means.
Why is that so funny?
It's not funny at all. Like my cousin went to went to school and told that joke in front of the class.
Oh no.
Yeah, when she
bet
was
the
like
teacher
when she
was
was like
like,
10 or 11.
Oh my God.
Stood up
And it was a girl that told the joke?
Yes.
No.
Got in I'll never forget her telling me that. And nobody got it but the teacher, and she got in trouble. But I remember them
bet.
telling that joke, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But now I know that it's a reference to the smell of a woman's vagina when it hasn't been properly maintained.
I hope them kids are still out of the room.
Hey, yeah. But I didn't get it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shit, like especially around my dad.
When you're a kid, it just.
That's
right
another
over your
thing
head.
though. Like when I was 9, my dad was. Holy shit! I'm fucking brain farting right now. He was 28.
Oh wow! So
when
your
I
dad
was 9.
young when he had you.
Yeah, when I was Mason's age, my dad was 29. So yeah, he was 19. My mom was 26, 25 when I was 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had young parents.
Yeah.
My dad was 32 when he had me.
See, that's right. That's good age.
That's a good age.
You've
I
got
think
some
anywhere
shit
between like 27 and 35
to
is
have one.
To have one is
Yeah.
like a really good age.
It's not. You don't want to be 27 and you got a 10-year-old. That's not. You've been doing it too early.
You started a little young.
Hey, what you doing in here, man?
But that's also the society we grew up in, dude. Like sexualized everything. Is
Seems
just
like
pushed
that's
on
not
us.
as common as it used to be.
I watched
like-
a movie the other day. Look, I'm sorry, I don't mean to like throw you
you're
off the
good.
track, but I watched
Go
a
for it.
kids movie the other day because like we're kind of getting in the Christmas spirit. We haven't put our tree up or anything like
We're
that
doing
yet,
that this
but
weekend.
we do like to start right after Halloween off with like a good Christmas movie
Yeah.
or two.
Same.
And we watched this one. It was an old one from like the early 2000s, and
He's an old one.
it is an old one, bro. It is old now. And there was a part where this girl was like, they were trapped in an airport for Christmas, and they weren't able to get home, and they sent all the kids to one room, all the unaccompanied minors to one room, and like this little group of kids all escape, and they try running around, and they're trying to get to this kid's
Is that what it's
sister.
called? Unaccompanied minors?
I'm not sure what it's. I can't remember. I just watched it last night,
Okay.
but I can't remember what it's called. It's on Netflix, and
I think it might be what it's called.
it might be unaccompanied minors. And either way, this kid. The whole plot is this kid is trying to get to his younger sister so she doesn't stop believing in Santa Claus, so he can drop a toy off to her. And there's a part where this young girl, she's probably 16 years old, and you could tell she's going to be an attractive human being when she gets older, but she's in like this spa part of in the airport, and she's, nude, getting a massage and having like those lava rocks put on her back, and then the airport security walks in and they're like, "Miss, you need to get back to the other accompanied minors, yada yada yada." And she's like, "Well, should I just stand up naked or should I?" Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
She's like, "Should I just stand up naked or should I get dressed first?" And I was like, like as a kid, you don't register, but now like as an adult, I hear that is so inappropriate, because those are like 30-year-old men telling her to get back, and she was like, "Should I get up naked?"
And they're like, yeah,
please.
yeah, get on up.
It's Hollywood, bitch. No,
My
but
name's Jeffrey Epstein, and here's my friend Bill Clinton.
what's up, man? Here's Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just it's kind of sick, like how easily they conditioned us into being like just so sexual.
I'm thinking about that. The guy that did all the Nickelodeon shows, Dan Snyder, was that his name?
I think that is his name.
He was like,
Snyder or something. I know.
it was Dan. He was doing some weird shit in them shows too. Like, I think it was called Sam and Cat or whatever. It had Ariana Grande in it.
Oh yeah.
And like he had her feet out all the time, like doing shit, like in scenes, like would have her like dipping her feet and shit, and like her like licking her feet or some shit. Like, it was a muy weirdo.
Ariana, girl, you okay? Are you okay?
And
That's rough. See, and that's
some
not
of the girl actors were just that's him right there, Dan Schneider. They were just uncomfortable when he'd come around.
Well, I can imagine. Look at him.
Fuck yeah.
That dude's got 16 chins.
Dan Snyder denies inappropriate behavior in new interview.
Well, of course he does.
I mean, he's
Of
not
course-
going to be like,
no, he's gonna be like, yeah, I
did it.
licking ketchup off 14-year-old toes. Fucking weirdo, man. That's what's like, and again, that's really what's wrong with our society, is like we've sexualized these kids, man.
Right.
And at that time, Ariana Grande was a kid. Hillary Duff was a kid. You know, Zoe 101. What's that chick? Britney Spears' sister.
Jamie Spears.
Yeah, Jamie Spears.
Jamie
All
Lee
that,
Spears.
man. Like those kids probably went through
Hey.
a lot of fucked up shit. Most of us go, well, they make a lot of money.
When
Like
I was
whatever, I don't feel
younger-
bad, but yeah, same.
Jamie
Same.
Spears. Well, I wanted to go. I think her school was like Oceanside or some shit.
Britney
like that.
Spears is the reason I know I like girls, boy.
Yeah.
I saw that album cover and I was like,
She
something's
said-
happening.
She said, "Hit me, baby, one more time." I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to hit the first thing. All that.
My pants are getting tight.
My pants are thoggy.
But yeah, man, we live in a very sexualized culture.
Everything. It's sales.
Yeah.
That's why it's all about what makes money.
Yeah, capitalism. Make them money.
So here's
What about Astro World? What's going on with that?
Oh,
bro?
yeah.
So that just happened.
the devil. That's what.
Yeah. Okay. So here's
the devil.
the conspiracies, bro. They hit so fast.
There's always a
and so
conspiracy
hard.
about everything.
Yeah, anymore, dude. Well, we live in the information age, and there's so like I would say there's 10% truth and 90%
It's depressing.
bullshit.
It's depressing what people decide to do with that.
Mhm.
Like you can, like Elon Musk once said, you can literally learn anything for free off the internet right now. Anything. And we decide to connect dots because they're possible to be connected, but not because they're the right dots to be connected.
Exactly. And look, I'm a conspiracy-brained person. I am one person
Same.
who I can go into a conspiracy and think, yeah, that's very possible. But it's dangerous to live that lifestyle and not be able to go the other way. You can't make that a
try to be
one-way road.
rational,
You
too.
have to make that go both ways. You have to be able to take in new information and go, okay, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
obviously it's not true because this new information has shed light on what I believed before.
Yeah, you can just always take in information.
Yeah.
And whenever
Keep it
whenever
open.
something that makes sense presents itself to you to like kind of debunk your conspiracy, don't be like, that's not what it is. It's actually the devil.
Yeah.
The devil did a sacrifice at the
Astro World.
And the thing,
concert at
you're talking about the
11:59
Jimmy
PM.
Neutron thing.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, on the conspiracy thing that I saw, they were like, it's Astro World on Jimmy Neutron too, and they walk in through a face to get in there, and you know how like the entrance to the Astro World concert
Was through Travis
Scott's
Scott's mouth,
face,
yeah.
mouth. And then there's like an old painting of people going to hell, or I guess it's hell. I don't know. I was just assuming. But there's like a path, and there's an old painting of people walking through someone's mouth into like something.
Okay.
But
Here we go.
in Jimmy Neutron,
It's called Retroland.
okay, yeah.
I watched
all right.
Jimmy Neutron last night for this fucking
Yes.
reason alone. I started watching the cartoon because I wanted to try to connect the dots myself.
My
'cause
name's Paul.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Paul.
Oh, that's it. Hi, I'm Paul.
But I tried to connect the dots for myself to see, and
Oh my God, that's unheard of. No one does that.
if the only thing that you have in common is Jimmy Neutron's head and Travis Scott's head moving in, that's not enough to be like, yeah, this was a bloodletting. Because have you ever been to a fun house? Have you ever been to a haunted house? You walk through the devil's mouth. You walk through a
Yeah.
clown's mouth all the time.
Yeah.
So every time you go to the county fair, it's a bloodletting.
What
You
was
know-
that girl's name with the dreads? On Jimmy Neutron?
Oh, man, she wasn't in the movie.
It's not
very big.
Cindy, right?
No, Cindy's
Cindy's
the
the blonde
blonde.
girl.
She's the B word.
That loves Jimmy.
She does, yeah. She's secretly. It's just like that's weird. That's another thing that we do with cartoons that's fucked up. Like,
Hey,
oh, that girl's
Arnold.
being mean to you. Yeah, Helga or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
Helga
like,
G. Pataki.
yeah. Damn, we pulled that one way off. That was crazy.
There's another one. No, that's not Fairly Odd Parents. That girl with the braces openly loves Timmy Turner.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, they just show that. But anyways, to get back to the bloodletting and like the devil thing, I think what's really happening is we're letting a conspiracy get in the way of what the real problem is. This artist cut corners in order to save money and put on a show, and it got people killed.
Yeah.
We should be worried about that, okay? I mean, if you
And his
believe
little
that the
fake
devil
ass
thing
apology
and the,
video that he put
yeah,
out.
and I'm gonna. And if he's gonna pay for that's a dime out of that dude's pocket.
Yeah.
That is a dime out of that guy. You know how much money he made off that concert?
No shit.
And to probably money he made by cutting corners
Yeah.
and not setting up the proper security
And sadly, the publicity that he's getting
Making him
off
more
of these
money.
people dying.
yeah, is making him more money.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to shine this light on himself, like, hey, I feel really bad, which he might. He honestly might.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
He should have. I've seen video of like people panning over the crowd up against the cages, and they are like smushed.
Yeah.
And he still puts the show on. And there's people like calling out like, stop the show, stop. Like even at one point, like a big portion of the crowd was like chanting, stop the show, stop. And they was just like,
keep going.
yeah.
So, I mean, in the moment of action, it didn't seem like he cared too much or cared to even figure out what was going on. He might not have known what was going on. I imagine standing on a stage with a sea of people in front of you, it's kind of hard to pinpoint where the accidents are happening. But I mean, if half the stadium or half the people are chanting "Stop the show," it might
be time to stop the show.
Might be time to hear what they gotta say. Yeah, man. I don't know about the whole devil conspiracy. I studied that picture of hell.
The one where people
where people were like going through mouths.
Is it
and
hell?
Stuff.
Is it supposed to be hell?
I don't know if it is. It doesn't seem. It seemed like everybody was just kind of like talking and like
they were just on a path,
standing around, and like one guy was like moving the fire pit, and another guy was like, yeah, and the guy behind him was like, come on back. Like, I didn't know what was going on.
Astroworld, come on through.
It didn't really look like anybody was like in serious. I don't know though. I've never. Yeah.
It's art. It's up for interpretation.
It is. That's exactly right. It's 100%.
And these people decided to interpret it as this was Travis Scott's this concert hundreds of years ago in the making. That's what this is.
Yeah, and apparently because he did this portal thing, he was like, would join me on the other side and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's a publicity thing, and it's where humans' brains are at right now. So they're like kind of probing that, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of poking at that.
And every
like,
time,
your money here.
every time somebody like there's like any kind of death, anything like that, especially at like a public outing, it was always a devil sacrifice. Like it's always a conspiracy that it was a sacrifice from the devil, and
anything to do with
Jesus is coming right now. Y'all better get right with the Lord. You know how long people been saying Jesus come back?
Since Jesus left.
Since Jesus died.
Yeah.
It's been 2,000 years ago.
5,000 years ago. It's been a long damn time.
Has it been 5,000 years ago?
When was Jesus? I mean, it was BC because it was before Christ, and then, you know.
And AD is after death.
So
we're in 2021 AD.
I guess it is 2000.
Yeah. But Jesus was 33 and he died. So 2033, look out for the end of the world and the return of Jesus. There it is, right there. You heard it first. You're right here at the Chelada Boys podcast.
Another thing, Alec Baldwin just recently
shot that cinematographer.
And, you know, I don't know what happened there. That might just be one of those Hollywood
like there's people who handle all the guns. And all the guns on set are real guns.
Right, yeah.
But the people that handle the guns are supposed to be, like, highly trained with artillery and all this shit, and
know the rounds that are going
make
into
sure they're not
what's
real.
A blank, what's, you know, which I don't even know why you would have a real round on a set anyway.
Especially with CGI. Like,
yeah, well, like
what it is right now, why haven't any rounds right now?
But it could have been a blank that killed her. Because blanks still have the capacity to kill somebody, depending on how close the gun was to when she went off, which that's information I don't know, so I can't speculate fully.
Well, it killed her and injured the director. I think the director got hurt in the arm. And
that sounds like a real bullet.
Yeah.
That sounds like someone loaded a real bullet into this.
Kind of like what happened to Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, on the set of Crow.
Uh-huh.
He got killed on set.
Shot, yeah. Which, I mean, when you think about cinematography and all that stuff in movies and stuff, how many gunshots do you think has been fired since the beginning and to the end of cinematography? Billions.
Just think about one fucking action movie.
Yeah. And how many times they have to make that take and shoot that gun and do that, you know, and a lot of times it goes without accident. This was a freak accident. But I also heard, and this is all speculation. I don't know if this is true. It was a
sacrifice for the devil.
No, I also heard that they're hiring people that are less qualified to try to appease like the movement. You know what I'm saying? Of like equal job rights and equal stuff like that. And they're hiring people who aren't necessarily qualified to do jobs if they are based on their gender or their race and stuff like that, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
It's absolute ludicrous, okay?
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject
It
the
is.
things that
It
people
is.
talk about, like rights for certain people.
But what
and
you're
stuff like
saying
that.
is they're going out of the way
to make sure that
to not now. This is not in every fucking circumstance, obviously, but
Right.
say there's a white guy who's been doing this for 30 years and he is like the best in the business, but then you've also got this Asian guy who's been doing it for 2 or 3 years and he's pretty good. So we're going to hire him so that we are politically correct right now.
Publicity and for people to say, Paramount is hiring Asian Americans and African Americans and this, that, and gay, transgender people and stuff like that. Like I said, I have no problem with whatever your lifestyle choice is. But if you're not qualified to do a job, your sex orientation, race shouldn't matter. You're not qualified.
I'm a straight male. But if I'm dying and there's a gay guy who's really good at CPR and then there's a straight guy who's like took a class, get them gay lips on me, please.
Get the gay guy over here.
Get him over here.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, if there's a straight guy who knows how to do the job, and then there's a black transgendered gay person that doesn't,
that watched it on a movie.
I'm not racist for wanting the white doctor to do my open heart surgery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just common sense. So I think that's what people have to put into their brains.
You know
just
what
a
I would
bit
like
more.
to see though? I would like to see a more like historically accurate, like ancient Egyptian movie.
Ooh.
With like black people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
because they are like dominantly white.
There's always the Mummy. What?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, that was.
You guys aren't what?
Okay, the only thing that's factual about the Mummy is that there are Western white men coming over to another country to dig up your artifacts and shit.
But
like
whenever they got there, you didn't run up on white people.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No. And when all that shit was going on, there wasn't a whole lot of white people.
And Passion of the Christ. Sorry, John Cazzizel, but Jesus wasn't white.
He wasn't.
And he had hair of like wool, right? I don't know if you've ever seen wool.
It
wasn't straight.
kind of curly.
It was probably like maybe brown, but super dark brown and probably black hair.
Probably closer to the black side.
Yeah.
And probably
Let's
a very
be
dark
accurate.
complexion.
I get that. I get that. I don't understand the whole be politically correct. So let's like make everyone black in this movie just because.
Yeah.
Diversity is important in any movie, but what I want to see is like if you're going to make a movie about history in a certain region, don't hire fucking Brad Pitt to play the
Matt Damon to guard the Chinese, the Great Wall of China. Why is Matt Damon guarding the Great Wall of China?
Why are you doing this? There are plenty of Chinese actors
been
that are the
guy
bomb.
that should have been the guy from The Walking Dead. That should have been Stephen Ewan's role right there. That should have been his role. That obviously he's the person who they should have picked. He might not even be Chinese.
I get why a bunch of people are mad about that because it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and that right there is your systemic racism.
Yeah.
That
you don't make a historically Irish movie. You didn't make Braveheart and they were all like black people.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So why are we making Egyptian movies and they're all white people?
Yeah.
Or Chinese movies and there's more white people than there is Chinese? That doesn't make sense.
I agree. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. There is definitely some racism. I think the biggest problem in Hollywood though is the sexual conduct that people hold. Like if you listen to some of these like reports, like I watch the Graham Norton show on YouTube a lot because I think it's a really funny show.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. But some of these questions, man, they're a bit private, like something that you would expect. I mean, you and your significant other to only talk about.
Yeah, something that relational secrets that.
You have to be aware enough to pick up on the subliminal messages coming your way too. Like, why are they gearing the conversation towards this topic now?
Yeah.
And like, why do they stay on it this long?
That's one thing. I do not like a reporter like that. Like somebody that come in there and just start asking you offensive questions.
Someone asked Scarlett Johansson what kind of underwear she wore when she was wearing the Black Widow outfit.
Yeah,
that's super inappropriate.
Like, what?
Like that's really inappropriate.
Yeah.
Nobody goes around.
I mean,
asking,
I want to know. But seriously, that's what.
I mean,
I've seen that. She's like, "Did you ask what they were wearing? What kind of underwear they were wearing?"
And what that's doing is it's discrediting her as an actor. You're just looking at her as a piece of meat at this point. Which obviously, she's a very beautiful woman.
Yes.
She's gorgeous.
Yes,
she's 100% gorgeous, and I don't think anybody should deny her that.
You can be respectable about someone's beauty. You look really great tonight.
Yeah, you do too. You look amazing. You look handsome, bud. I like your goatee. You
Thanks.
know, like your little soul patch right here.
But that's what I'm getting at.
There's
you
a way
can,
to
you can see her and be like, you
compliment
look
someone,
great.
But you know, the best compliment you could have gave her was your role in Jojo Rabbit was amazing. You did an incredible job. You showed the love of a mother.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, Jojo
I
Rabbit.
haven't, but
Oh
I've
my
heard
God,
great
dude,
things about it.
It is an incredible movie, and she's a revelation, dude. She portrays a mother who loves her kid more than anything, but also disagrees with his belief because the kid is like totally brainwashed by Nazi Germany at this time and thinks that Adolf Hitler is the greatest thing in the world. And his mom disagrees. She doesn't think that the war is right. She's German.
Yeah.
White woman
Sensible.
who has sensible
Human.
and she's hiding Jews in her house, and her son doesn't even know. And it's an incredible movie, dude.
I need to watch that.
She's a revelation in it, and I think that's what people should talk about, not what kind of underwear she's wearing, not how tight her outfit was.
Yeah.
You know, like,
did you have to oil up to get in that?
Nobody's asking Brad Pitt that question. Nobody's like, did you have to wear a thong for, this role and this, that, and the other? They're all saying, like, what was your greatest experience on set? And, like, who's your favorite director you've ever worked with? They're asking him real questions. But they're asking her shit about her body and stuff that doesn't matter.
They'll ask Brad Pitt, like, what kind of difficulties did you have to go through with getting your physique right for this role? Because it's very physically demanding. And then Scarlett Johansson comes up next, and they're like,
why your titties out?
Yeah. Hey, so do you think you could unzip the top a little bit more?
Yeah.
Another one who gets on like a different whatever is Jonah Hill.
He gets criticized.
They're always like,
bro.
I think they think they can talk. Man, my damn mustache keeps itching. I think they think that they could talk to him however he wants because he's a comedy guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
But like he wants to be taken seriously too, and
he is a serious actor.
He's a good actor.
Have you ever seen Moneyball?
Have you ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall
He does
Street,
a good job in that.
The thing about Jonah Hill is
Moneyball's a good movie.
Yeah, he has range. I watched it literally like 2 days ago. He has range, dude. Like, yes, he has the ability to be the funny guy, and I think they typecasted him as fat, chubby, funny guy.
Superbad is one of my favorite movies
all time. And, that was when he was still struggling with weight issues, and that's something that personally affected him.
Yeah.
The weight issue.
And they always comment on it.
And they typecast him.
Do you think you're still the fat guy in Hollywood? And he's like,
why would you even bring that up?
Jimmy Kimmel, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. He came on his show, and he sat down to like do the interview, and the first thing Jimmy Kimmel says is, "Wow, you smell good." He's like, "Thank you." He's like, "I wouldn't expect you to smell good." He's like, "Why would you not?" He's like, "I'm gonna do my best to not take that as like a jab, and we'll just move on from there."
And that accounts to his character. You know what I'm saying? Like him saying, like, I'm not going to engage, even though that was hurtful.
Yeah.
What you said was
fucked up that you just say you would imagine that I stink.
Think that I just automatically stink because I'm a little bit heavy set, which he's not anymore. He's kind of ripped now. He's gotten very fit.
He's even said that like he is not answering any more questions about his weight because I'd say he probably is fucking tired of hearing about it.
Well, it's been something that has probably been in the spotlight since he got in the spotlight.
Think about the first movie that I remember seeing him on was Accepted.
Accepted, yeah, and he was big.
He's a big boy. That was like peak big.
That was
Ask me about my wiener.
That was like him getting his break. You know what I'm saying? Like he hadn't had the ability to have money to hire personal trainers and dietitians and stuff like that to come in and change his life or help him change his life. Obviously, it comes down to you. Do you want to change your life? And he did.
Yeah.
And I think that we should all commend him for that, and also commend him for his acting abilities.
He's a good actor.
He can play a very serious role, but also while playing that serious role, bring a comic relief that not a lot of actors can do.
Like 21 Jump Street, he did a great job at that.
Yeah,
it was funny, but he
also
be
played
serious if he needed to.
Moneyball is a great one where he's serious, but he still has enough charisma and charm and those little quips that he says that just kind of change the mood of the scene. You know, it goes in real serious, and then he's like, if you start throwing the ball this way and doing that, and just the way he says it brings light to the situation. He's a great actor, phenomenal. And I watched another interview with him and Brad Pitt after that movie, and he talked about how he would revered Brad Pitt and how he considered Brad Pitt one of the best actors in the world.
Yeah.
And then they asked Brad Pitt, well, who do you consider? Would you consider Jonah Hill one of the greatest actors? And he was like, nah, I'd have to pick someone more serious.
Yeah,
that's what Brad Pitt said.
You could tell that hurt him.
Yeah, you could tell. And what are you talking about, dude? War Dogs, fucking The Sitter,
Says he was in Django. Was he in Django?
Yeah, Django. He's the dude that can't see all the eye holes in the bag. That whole scene is hilarious, bro. It brought a comic relief to that movie because that's a tense topic, dude. Like that movie is very tense, and for Quentin Tarantino and Jonah Hill to be able to throw a little bit of comedy and be able to make everybody laugh at the Ku Klux Klan and everything that was happening, and be able to laugh at that is an incredible feat in cinematic history, because most of the time you watch those racism movies and as a white guy, I just like, fuck, dude, like we are awful.
Another one of the awful. Earlier movies. This might be. Let's see.
Mid-90s. That is another fucking great movie.
Grandma's Boy is the first movie I think I seen him in, where he's like sucking on that chick's boobs
for 18 hours.
Yeah.
Jimmy sucked his first titty. He's like, for 18 hours.
That's one of the more like underrated movies.
They wake up in the morning and that chick's like eating a bowl of cereal and he's still sucking her tit. Yeah.
He's like actually sucking her tit.
I wouldn't want it any other way either.
There's only one other movie I've seen somebody actually sucks somebody else's, like a soft core porn going on in the middle of a movie. Me, Myself, and Irene. The baby, when Jim Carrey is actually sucking that girl's boob.
Yeah.
He's actually sucking her boob.
But Jim Carrey's taking like a different turn in life, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's more serious. I think he's kind of having like the Jonah Hill thing too, but he had it way later.
Yeah, and I don't think
it started with the 23 movie. Remember that movie?
Which that movie's good, but I don't know. I grew up with Jim Carrey being the funny man, so I've always typecast him as going to be the funny guy, but he can do serious too. He can do a serious role as well. But you just love to see Jim Carrey in them funny movies.
What is that movie of something of the untapped mind or some shit?
That's on Netflix too. They just added that.
Yeah, Chelsea wanted to watch it. I've seen it. It's a good movie. It's not funny Jim Carrey movie. Eternal Sunshine.
That's it. Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
He was awesome in the Lemony Snicket's movies. Like
he was awesome in the Man on the Moon movie about that fucking God dang it, I can't think of shit, dude. About Andy Kaufman. That's his name.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a good one. It's 99. I remember watching that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Posh, I think we're about
there,
out of shit to talk about right now.
A lot has happened in the world in the 3 weeks that we've been gone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to have to miss next week too, but we will pick back up the week of Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about like Christopher Columbus and shit, and what he was really about. What he really we got to miss next week because I got to fly to Connecticut for work. This is actually happening this time. I had to get it rescheduled. But yeah, next week we're going to talk about Christopher Columbus and the truth behind the ocean blue in 1492 and the rape and the pillage and the deception of the Indian people.
And why he called them Indians, because he thought he was in India.
Yep. He thought he had sailed around the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a block, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's some kind of block going on, and he was trying to sail to the other side to where he could get access for the spices.
I mean, it's 1400s. It's not like you guys got GPS. You're going to be a little confused. The wind blows the wrong way. Now you're in the Caribbean.
Could you imagine being in 1492 in the middle of the ocean?
No, that'd be terrifying. But you wouldn't know. Because this is the time you're growing up and you're like, this is the most advanced boat in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the peak of technology.
Titanic. It will never sink.
Wrong again.
You know, there's a conspiracy behind the Titanic, too. We'll have to talk about that one day.
Yeah, it's the Olympic was the boat that actually sank, not the Titanic, and they cashed in on the insurance on the Titanic. Dollars. So the Titanic is still in operation. It still floats, but the Olympic went down. Because it was an older boat that had been around for a long time, and it was sailing on its last one. And when it hit that iceberg, it just couldn't handle the stress. And
well, we don't have to talk about that one anymore because there it is. Thanks, Posh, for the quick recap. Problem. But as per usual, this is Dylan.
This is Posh.
And if you ain't had you a Chelada, go get you one. If you don't like it, drink it till you're right. We'll see y'all not next week, but the week after, whenever we talk about Christopher Columbus.
See ya.
See ya.